There we go. Hello.
Hello.
Everybody. Welcome back, or welcome to Easter special of Whisky Doughnuts. It feels a bit weird. I don't know why. I don't know if it's brighter in here because of the...
I think the clocks have gone back, so
Forward. Nice start.
Just gonna
Professional as always. Yeah, it feels like we haven't done this in more than a month. I'm just looking at everything here. It looks like we're all up and running. Maybe someone gives a wee thumbs up on the Facebook. I feel like I've forgotten something, but I don't know why. Sorry, that's a bit of a sporadic start. Welcome. My name is Matt, and I'm an owner of the Malt Room here in Inverness. A lot of you guys know me, lots of familiar names on the sheet, but for those who don't, that is my background. And
my name's Nicole. Didn't know that. I was like, and I own Perk Doughnuts, which is just next door to the Malt Room, for those who don't know. And yeah, all the little 5 tasty treats you get in front of you were made by us over in Perk, the wee bakery. So yeah.
Nice. So the idea kind of came about a couple of years ago now, maybe.
Actually, it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So
we skipped a year with 2020, you know.
I know. So it was a Spirit of Speyside festival, and we got contacted by our friends Johnny and Erica, who have a Whisky and Doughnuts Instagram page, and we ended up going down to the festival and having a blast with those guys, and kind of they opened their eyes to Whisky and Doughnuts, and we've been sort of doing it ever since here in the UK. So let us tell you how it works. So hopefully you guys all got your packs. You can see we've got them set up here. So I'll talk you through the sort of running order and then kind of what we suggest doing. So from left to right here, if you have dram number 1 with now this is like a kind of icing one with a little bit of crumbs. We have an icing one with lots of crumbs. The one with the Easter eggs is number 3. The one with the cream stuff is number 4, and the one with the cream egg, I think, is number 5. So get them in that order. What we recommend doing is, what's going to happen is I'll chat you a little bit of the whiskey,
and I'll talk you through the donuts.
The reason I kind of described them like that was because Nicole will explain all the flavours and stuff as we go. I'm nervous that there's no comments.
Yeah, me too.
So we love interaction. So we've got a little feed down the right-hand side that we can...
You can ask us questions or comment on the pairings and stuff, and usually, yeah.
So the more interaction, the better. Normally people are saying hello and stuff by now, so I'm like, oh, if we forgot something.
Is it hidden?
No, I think it is on. So my phone's not going yet, so I know a few people who are doing this. I'm sure they'd phone me if it was a disaster. So no phone call yet, so let's just assume it's going well. So I'll chat you through the whiskey, you'll do donuts, but don't feel like you have to, there we go. Don't be nervous, it'll be great. Thank you, here we go.
They're coming in.
Hello,
good,
everyone.
okay.
My mum said hello, so that makes me feel better.
Hi, June.
Cool. There must have been a bit of a lag there or
maybe
something.
just the Wi-Fi.
I don't know why, it feels like it's been...
It was nerve-wracking, we were both like, oh,
silence is the worst thing. So yeah, don't feel like you need to finish all the whiskies and the donuts in one go. Sometimes it's quite fun when you guys kind of make up your own pairings and we kind of mix and match. So we'll try and do it for an hour, but if it goes longer, a bit shorter, then fine. It's kind of easy. So anything else to add?
Excited to get going.
Yeah, me too. It's been a weird day. I think that's maybe why I'm a bit all over the place. Like I was delivering donuts today. It was snowing. It was raining. Hope everyone had a nice Easter. We had a great one. Yeah.
Oh, I've got something for you.
Is this a theme now? Is it? I didn't. Oh, no.
Close your eyes.
Is that another hat?
Put your hands out. Close your eyes. Put your hands out.
I didn't know about this.
Let me go into my special bag here.
Is it a hat?
No.
Is it bunny ears? An Easter egg. Okay, I'll take that. Thank you. That's a good one. We can carry on that theme.
Now, the only reason it's just the egg is I got hungry on the way.
Okay.
I thought I'd give you an egg, you know?
Thank you.
Great. I tried really hard to find some bunny ears or something of the like, and I just couldn't quite get it. So
I did the same actually. I did have a wee look, but the week kind of just gets away. And
flew away.
I don't know how it happens, but it's good. It's good. Keeps us busy. So I think we need to start drinking. People are just fed up of our rubbish chat.
It has been a busy day though. I'm looking forward to this. It's really nice.
So the idea behind the whiskies, this one was Easter. So I thought let's try and pick some light, fruity, fresh whiskies. At least for part of it anyway. We will finish on more of your style and maybe my style as well. But to begin with, I think we'll go for sort of Easter themed. So dram number 1, something I've been looking forward to trying for a while actually. So this is Glenlivet Caribbean cask. So I keep getting this the wrong way. There we go. So a lot of you guys might have seen this sort of in the supermarkets. If you're like me and kind of go down the supermarket aisle and have a look, it's hard to miss because it's in bright orange box.
Yeah.
And normally they don't interest me too much, is probably fair to say. But this one did, just because it says Caribbean cask on it. And the reason I say that is because one of the best, or the best-selling dram in the Malt Room,
yes, is the Balvenie.
Officially, Balvenie 14 Caribbean cask. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because it's a really good dram. It's affordable and it's fruity, it's delicate. It kind of ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Will Glenlivet be the same? I don't know. I'm going to find out. Let's
find
out, yeah.
And to stick to the Caribbean theme, we've gone with a banana. It's a creme patisserie, but
you're going to have to explain that one.
Yeah. In short form, it's really a custard whipped through with cream.
Creme patisserie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Creme pat. With a wee caramel glaze. So it's like a banoffee.
Nice. So very tropical, very Caribbean.
Should be quite light and hopefully balances out quite nicely. Nice colour to it, eh?
Lovely colour. Good sound.
Good sound.
If I'm totally honest, I don't think that is natural colour. This is very much a...
Oh, is there an age on this?
No, non-age statement, 40%. So, again, things that worry me a little bit, if I'm totally honest. But I was keen to try it from the same area. So it's a little bit about Glenlivet. I think we featured Glenlivet once before and we did the 15 French Oak, which I think people really, really enjoyed. Based in Speyside, one of the sort of oldest distilleries. There was a farmer called called George Smith, and he basically had a farm in Drummond. And back then it was all about illicit stills, so basically illegal whiskey distilling. And then in 1823 they passed the Excise Act, which made making whiskey legal but taxable. So the Duke of Gordon was his landlord who owned the land, and it was no surprise he had a lot of influence in passing the Excise Act. So it was no coincidence when he came knocking on George Smith's door to say, would you like to change your ways and maybe pay tax on this alcohol that you're making? I don't think it was maybe a choice. I think he was forced into it. I mean, it's led to modern day whiskey production, really, that moment, which is good, but he definitely was not popular with his co-workers or colleagues or neighbouring farmers who prefer. I mean, it was a slick operation in Speyside. They had lots of illicit stills. They had signals to warn when the taxman came. So they were not best pleased when they had to start paying tax on their whiskey. He was actually under quite a lot of threat, so he famously carried 2 pistols around with him for protection. So that's kind of the most famous story about Glenlivet. I've got quite a lot of information now. You're going to have to cut me off. I feel like I've done... Let's have the donut first. And
before you start blabbering on.
Part 2. Sorry.
But there is no right or wrong way to do this. If you want to kind of drink some of the whiskey, have a bite of the donut, see how it goes together. And then you don't have to finish the whole thing. You can save some for later and kind of do a little bit of your own pairing once you try the whiskies, if you feel like you want to try and mix and match them, let us know. First pairing. Here we go.
Nice. So some of the comments... Nathan, not a whiskey, but trying something new. Great. Well, this is quite a nice way to kind of get into whiskey or just understand the flavours, hopefully. Light and fruity, Mark Sweeney. Nice light dram. Donut is fantastic. Taste and smells good. Yeah. So that donut's lovely. Really good.
It is good. Banana's one of those things. I mean, technically these two together, it's like a breakfast combination.
Totally.
I think the whiskey's quite light. Seems...
I haven't even tried it yet, but...
No, I think together. I think it actually works together. I quite like it. The banana. And then it's a good excuse to drink whiskey in the morning. Always
looking for one of them.
Always looking for an excuse.
Normally it's... You still smell of whiskey. Now it was... let's have one this morning, Good way around it. Yeah, that's lovely. Really fruity, really light. Yeah, I like that.
I like that. That's an easy drinking dram.
Yeah, I do like that actually. I'm glad about that. I mean, sometimes I've tried their Founders Reserve, which is the baby blue one, and it is shite. It is not good. It really isn't. But that is good. Another interesting thing about Glenlivet. Another little.
You're getting
I know.
I've done.
I'm not nervous. I just had like time when I was doing all. It feels like more than a month since I've done whiskey stuff, so I'm like geeking out here. But his grandson was.
Normally it's me muddling that, but I'm quite enjoying just watching.
Just watch me fumble and fall. Yeah. But basically, his grandson sued a lot of different companies because a lot of companies were using the name Glenlivet. So you'll see like things like Macallan, like hyphen Glenlivet. And they were like, well, it's a place name. And they said, well, look, it's actually our distillery. And they won the case. And I think there was 26 cases of people using Glenlivet's name. So that is actually why it's called the Glenlivet rather than just Glenlivet. So whiskey companies or bottlers can still use Glenlivet, but it needs to be hyphen Glenlivet after their name, whereas the Glenlivet is the Glenlivet. So yeah, there you go. That was my homework.
That would be an easy way to get confused, actually, if you were to see that in the bar. Like, what is that, Highland or
totally? Yeah. And I think people were just tagging on to their success effectively, and he's seen that and put a stop to it. But yeah, nice dram.
I'm happy with that first. Good first dram.
Yeah, definitely.
Lovely.
I'm interested in the order tonight as well. So, dram number 3 is something I maybe would have normally put first, but I thought we'd try and change it up a little bit tonight and throw it in third just to see. I'll talk you through why, but
okay.
Yeah, cool. People happy?
That's going down well.
Quite tasty, proper breakfast whiskey.
Yeah, there we go.
Totally.
We'll all be on the breakfast whiskies on the 26th.
26.
Are you joking me?
Oh, outside pubs.
How you own a bar?
I know, but
it
has a roof. It has a roof. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. That is at that time of year. Myself and all the team here have actually said, "How do you feel? You roll this?" And at the end of the day, it's been so long now. We're kind of over it, and we're still going to be here. It's been crap. It's been crap for everyone. Some people have worked, some haven't. No point moaning about it. Rather just be positive about it. So I'm being uber positive about it and saying that actually on the 26th, all the team's furlough money comes through here, first of the month or last Friday of the month, whatever it is. So we have a month where we are not allowed to work, but the beer gardens will be open. What a shame! I'm gutted. That's 1 month of business in my whole entire life I'm going to miss so badly. But a month of beer gardens, spending Boris's money. I'm gutted about it. As you can
work in Perk with me if you want. We're short of baker.
No, you've got a bubble. It's too risky to cross that.
Well, you better get 2 meters.
Well,
me then.
Whiskey's killing him.
Just outside the frame and I'll do this.
The whiskey's size. Good.
This is antibacterial.
It is.
I like the olden days.
Right. So, whiskey number 2.
I'm taking one last figure this one. Okay, whiskey 2, what are we on? Ooh, I recognise this one.
Yeah. So, we are going to Japan. So, I still can't get the hang of this. There we go. So, Anne Johnson, it was Glenlivet Glenlivet Caribbean cask or Caribbean finish. What's it called? Caribbean Reserve. There you go. So this whiskey is one that's actually the first whiskey actually came to mind when it was Easter tasting. Think of springtime fresh drams that are just almost unlike whiskey.
Yeah.
And this we describe this as like the Sauvignon Blanc of whiskey. You're a big Sauvignon fan?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not for me.
Not for you. Is that actually Sauvignon Blanc?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
About 70% Sauvignon.
Yeah.
10% water.
So basically, Sauvignon Blanc or this whiskey is all about green, fresh fruit. So you've got apples going on. I think this tastes like or smells like green melon. There's kiwi. There's loads of kind of interesting stuff going on with this. It's just so fresh. It doesn't have any of that. Whoa, that's whiskey. Or there's no. People say there's a bit of smoke in the Kushu. I don't think there is in this one. I don't get it anyway. Whether that's because my palate's been hammered by Islay whiskey, but I don't get any smoke. So, do you want to talk the pairing?
Yeah, well, I went for a apple compote. So it's an apple crumble donut. We've got a sort of cinnamon spiced apple compote on the inside with a wee bit of biscuit crumb and vanilla. Nice.
I think that'll go really well, actually. So Hakushu is it's owned by Suntory. So Suntory are probably one of the biggest producers in Japan. Japanese whiskey has been going since 1923. It's so they haven't really. A guy came to Scotland, learned how to make whiskey, came back, called Makataka Tatsuru, and he was the founding father of Japanese whiskey. And he set up Yamazaki, and Hakushu is the sort of sister distillery to Yamazaki. Now, Japanese whiskey gets a really mixed reputation, I feel, in this country. So some people say, oh, they've copied us. Other people, like myself, love it. And I think the world now do love it. Although there is a little bit of a problem with the Japanese whiskey industry, which come to light actually this month. And things are changing as of the 1st of April. So not all Japanese whiskey is Japanese.
Okay, explain.
Weird one, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Rattling through my brain, trying to come up with the reasons.
So some distilleries or some, maybe not distilleries, some bottlers or some brands, some whiskey makers, whatever you want to call them, in Japan, import whiskey from other countries like Scotland, and then they blend it or they just bottle it straight away in Japan, and then the label call that Japanese whiskey.
Oh.
Okay. What a cheek. So the guys who are actually working...
Steal my whiskey.
Yeah, totally. So the guys who are actually making good whiskey, like Chichibu and Suntory and all these guys, they're obviously worried about Japanese whiskey reputation being damaged because of that. So there's basically an SWA called, I've got it here, the JSLMA, which is the Japanese Japanese Spirits Liqueurs Makers Association. So basically they have said, why don't we have rules similar to Scotch that they have to follow? So as of the 1st of April, this month, they have come in, and distilleries need to conform by then by 2024 to have Japanese whiskey written on the label. You will not allowed to have it after that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Japanese whiskey. I'm glad they have changed their ways and are trying to protect the good stuff. Because it's great. It's lovely stuff. They put a lot of hard work into it. So yeah, I've not tried it. I'm rambling on again, but cheers.
Well, for me, I've already done a bit of tasting while you were chatting, but it's quite, like, in comparison to the first one, it's like really fresh in the mouth, isn't it? It feels like quite spicy. Well, not spicy in flavour, but spicy and that's got that heat to it in the mouth. But once you take a bite of the donut and go back to the whiskey, really smooths that out with the sweetness of the donut, I think.
So yeah, 43%. So we are upping the alcohol slightly. Let's see. It's
got more of a tingly mouthfeel to me, you know. I feel like these are getting bigger.
I know they are.
I don't know how.
I took a bite of that and half that went up my nose. Honestly. Got apple up my nose. I've got an apple hanging off them.
Oh God, I can't really get my mouth around this.
No, well,
you enjoying that donut there?
I know.
Demolishing.
No. I feel like I've been talking about Japanese whiskey too long. But the reason I think that it never changed was that the Japanese whiskey rules were kind of set in 1950 and were kind of looked after by the sort of tax office. And the tax office weren't bothered how it was made. They were more concerned about the duty. So as long as there was volume going through, they were quite happy. But the likes of Ben Nevis and Fort William, crappy little, not crappy, shouldn't say that, but it looks crap. Like, You look at some distilleries and you're like, oh, they want visitors to come.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Ben Nevis and you're like, and my grands and Fort William and dad's from down that way. So if anyone wants to love that distillery, it's me. It's crap. It is so rubbish. You walk in and it's just so dated. It's had no money spent on it. And the reason it's like that is because you're on the wind up tonight, aren't you?
I can't help it. It just made me laugh.
The reason it's like that is because basically it's owned by Nika and they just want the liquid. They're not bothered about. My favourite thing about Japanese whiskey, though, before we move on, is the new rules. You know, the water has to come from Japan, has to be aged in Japan. Basically, imagine the Scotch rules in Japan. But one thing I miss about the bar so much is just people's enthusiasm for whiskey, but complete infactual information.
Really?
Oh, you see it all the time. And
well, people like, did you know that?
Yeah, but they're with someone, and they're maybe, you know, with someone who they know more than whiskey, and that's fine. But they have an attitude of, I'm going to tell you everything and show you how much I know. Which is not really the way we kind of operate here. If you know, if we have a conversation, great, and we want to learn together. But when you're just sprathing facts, which is kind of what I'm doing tonight.
You know this role too well.
Yeah. But this guy was like, I tell you, that Japanese whiskey, no good. That no good. They're stealing our water, and they're taking our water from Japan, and they're making whiskey with it. I was our water from Scotland, and I was like, are they? I was like, so they're how are they getting our water from? That's a really economical way to make whiskey, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's like, they're shipping it, they're flying it, they're doing everything. And I was like, okay, and just kind of let him have it. Okay, that's fine. So that's what I miss about the bar. Really, actually, this is nice like that. Came home and I was like, John, you won't believe the conversation I've had.
That's good.
Nice. So awesome donut. You. Plus my friends, lovely whiskey, not too much. Japanese whiskey, oh, that's good. Nice. I think there was a bit of a mixed review on that one, actually.
I think the whiskey, they weren't sure on it, but I don't know. Me personally, I think it wasn't my favourite initially. But
sweet smoke, Rob. So he is getting the smoke there. The smoke. Yeah. Getting notes of nettle. Yeah, Duncan's spot on with that. When I was looking up taste note, herbaceous notes, mint, nettle. Yeah, totally. So
I don't know. For me, not my favourite, but I think the donut works really well with that. I think the sweetness of that balances it a wee bit for me. I quite like that. Also, if you have any questions for us, please drop them in the comments. We will try and see them. Well, I don't have my glasses. So
yeah, we're trying the laptop set up on a. We took some behind the scenes photos actually tonight to try and show you the sort of setup. The laptop's on a high bar stool and there's a little microphone here and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's just quite a basic little setup, but good fun. So Hakushu, that is the Distiller's Edition, non-age statement as well. You're looking about £70 a bottle for that. So mixed love on that one. Japanese whiskey, proper Japanese whiskey is not cheap. Their 12-year-old will cost you 120, 130, 18. You're looking about 300-400.
Wow.
So yeah, the world does rate it, but. Yep, I can kind of agree with some folk. It is a nice whiskey to try. If I was spending that of my own money, would I buy that?
But that's the beauty of bars like yours, because you can come in and have a dram without having to fork out for the bottle.
Yeah. We're really fortunate in that sense that we can buy bottles like that and share the cost. Yeah, share them, and that's what it's about. Like, would I buy a bottle in my own house? Probably not. There's probably not anyone in Japan watching this, so I can probably say that.
But if you want to send some freebies, we'll have it.
Yeah, we'll swap you some Scottish water.
That's in Highland Spring.
Cool. So number 3.
This is the Eastery one. I've tried to worm this into the donuts.
So this is a dram I thought about doing number 1.
Okay.
Normally, if I looked at these whiskies in a lineup, I would always say, without doubt, this should be number 1. A few things changed my mind on it. So what we're having is Glencadam. So Glencadam is probably a nice curveball for everyone here. A distillery that you guys may not have tried before. It is, it's not a huge distillery. So based near Brecon, it is in the Highland. Based
near Brecon.
In Brecon. It is in the Eastern Highlands. Do you know what I'm going to do?
What?
See, when you're chatting about your donuts, I'm just going to stay
there.
Throw you off.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How cool is a cucumber beer?
So, Glencadam, 100% aged in bourbon, majority first fill. So, bourbon casks are plentiful in the whiskey industry. So,
Nice nose to it.
it's lovely. So, in America, they use bourbon barrels once by law. So, there's loads of them. The Scotch whiskey industry takes them and use them and reuse them a lot. It's kind of a good starting point for a whiskey, and then they tend to go into the more expensive sherry casks or wine casks, whatever. But actually, a first fill bourbon cask has a real charm to it. It has loads of that vanilla, creamy kind of thing going on. And the reason I put this one third is that Glencadam is a really interesting spirit, and it's also slightly stronger. So we started at 40%, 43. This is going up to 46. So it will have a bit more mouthfeel. Another reason for more mouthfeel is its natural colour and non-chill filtered. So I can pretty much guarantee the first two will be chill filtered. What that means is that there's fatty esters in whiskey, and when it gets cold, or if, say, for example, you put a lump of ice in your whiskey, that whiskey would go cloudy. So it's like olive oil if you leave it out in the cold. So when that happens in bars, people sometimes send whiskey back and say, oh, there's a problem with my whiskey. So a lot of distilleries now chill the whiskey, strip those fatty acids out so that if you chill it, put it over rocks, whatever, it doesn't go cloudy. And the argument is that it doesn't really affect flavour. I couldn't disagree more with that. You are effectively taking something out of that whiskey. It is going to affect flavour. And more so than flavour, I think it affects the mouthfeel of a whiskey. If you think of just general fat, if you think you've had a bit of fat of a steak, it coats your palate, and it's there. So it's not as extreme as that, but I find non-chill filtered whiskies hang around my palate much, much more. One more thing, just before we try it, their spirit, their stills are quite short and dumpy, which would make you think of like a heavy spirit. So Macallan have dumpy stills, Glenmorangie have tall stills. The basically vapor needs to work harder to get out, which means it makes a lighter spirit.
Yeah.
These guys are kind of an in-between. So they have dumpy stills, but think of a still like a kettle, so it goes like this and boils and tries to get out. As normally it gets to the top and drops down into here, okay? What happens here, the line arm, they've actually got it at 15 degrees like this. So the spirit gets to here thinking it's done its job and then needs to go up even more. So what happens is more copper contact, drops back down, gets redistilled. So creates a lighter spirit. So yeah, that's kind of Glencadam. It's a distillery
And you don't hear much about.
No,
like,
you don't hear much about. No,
yeah.
Changed hands a few times. It's currently owned by Angus Dundee, who owned Tom and Towel.
Okay.
And yeah, I've gone on quite a long time about Glencadam, but
okay.
Sorry, talk about.
It's all right. Well, you always sniff that whiskey.
I will. I'll start drinking, and you'll start fumbling your words.
No chance. Not me. Cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, cucumber donut.
No. The donut is just a vanilla cream. So we obviously for Easter this year, Perk, we are open sort of Wednesdays through Sundays, and we're trying to kind of do things for the special occasions that we have at the moment to make the most of them. So we had a wee Easter donut selection over the weekend, last weekend. So we thought we'd factor that in a little bit to the tasting this week. So this one has got a mini egg vanilla cream on the inside. So it's chocolatey and vanilla. So it will be light. The chocolate's obviously going to be quite rich, but hopefully it will still work quite well with the whiskey. What are you?
No, I'm just reading the comments.
Just fixing things.
No, I'm not fixing. I'm just. I like Chrissy Gibbs' comments. He goes, "The banana does not go well with the Japanese whiskey. Oof, your suggested pairing is so much better."
Thank you very much.
So Duncan cask strength, 46.
46%.
Yeah.
You can feel that in mouthfeel that you're building up there in the last one.
Which is, as I say, like normally like bourbon, cask whiskey. Cheers. Where's your eggs gone?
I sat in there for a minute.
Why?
It's because I don't want to get chocolate on my nose.
Okay.
You eat them if you want.
Oh,
they're together.
We're using the reduced style. They're a bit stale.
They're in a nest. I made them into a little nest, an egg's nest.
You bet there.
Honest to God, cruising for a reason.
I do taste stale.
A stale chocolate egg.
But soft.
That's just why you don't work in the kitchen. Stick to what you know.
So, I actually need to eat about this donut first because I feel like I'm talking too much.
Do you pairing? I like that though. I like this whiskey.
Yeah, me too. I've tried the whiskey. It's nice. Like sometimes young bourbon cask whiskey can taste tired. Like tired, yeah.
Interesting
like
word.
flat. Like doesn't have any of those. So bourbon cask should give you that fresh, creamy vanilla from the vanillins and the wood. But if the cask has been reused lots and lots of times, it's not going to work. So someone actually explained this to me in a really nice way. They said, imagine a cup of tea. And I says, imagine you have 5 cups. You put a tea bag in and brew a cup of tea. You take the tea bag out and move it down. That's kind of like the cask. The more and more you use it, you will get something from it, but it's not going to be as good as the first time. So, I mean, not as good as maybe the bad way to put it, but different. But for this sort of whiskey, first fill is important, and the majority of this is first fill bourbon. So yeah, give it a go.
I like that. I think maybe might be my favourite so far, actually. Don't know my favourite. I think my favourite pairing so far is actually still the banana and the Glenlivet.
That was good.
Number 1, but I'm enjoying this whiskey a lot, actually. It's good. You know, I used to... Huh?
It was a good donut.
Oh, thank you. We'll be at a market this weekend, Wildwoods, out in the Black Isle. If anyone's got some free time over Saturday, Sunday, you can pop down and we'll be there. And there's loads of local business and stuff. That's really cool. But we haven't. Yeah, it's really good. It's all outdoors as well. There's like 100 and something different tents, and there's everything from food to jewellery to local craftsmen, loads of stuff. It's really good. But we just didn't want to let go of Easter quite yet. I know Easter weekend's technically done, but we're hanging on. So we're going to have some Easter donuts this weekend as well.
Quite right.
It'll be nice.
It's quite a busy weekend, Easter. I think we all kind of said to you guys here that I'm glad we did it actually, because Easter Saturday was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
We sat in the sun. My folks came round and sat outside. It was lovely. So yeah, I'm glad we did that and put it back to this Friday night, which is crap weather. It's actually quite nice having some nice drams.
Nice reason to be inside.
So a little shout out as well to Ian. So Ian is a good friend of ours and a good friend of Johnny and Erica from Whisky and Doughnuts, who we've kind of all made a little kind of Whisky and Doughnuts kind of family, which is great.
So maybe we should explain Johnny and Erica though, because they might not know who they are.
So that is the guys that we touched on at the start, who we did the Spirit of Speyside with. So they have a great Instagram account. I think there may be some comments on the page, so go have a look at their stuff. They came up with the sort of Whisky and Doughnuts idea
concept, and
put us in touch with some great people, and Tom and Tull, or Angus Dundee. They have Glencadam and Tom and Tull, which we feature quite a lot. And Ian has always been really good with us. And I know he's not watching tonight. He was going to try and come on, but he is hosting another tasting. I don't know if you know this, actually. He has been promoted. So he is now the master blender at Tom and Tull.
Congratulations.
So congratulations, Ian.
That's amazing.
Thank you for sending up some Glencadam as well. So yeah, look forward to having a dram with you when we can. It's lovely, but not friends with the beard. What does that mean, Nick? I don't know.
Does that mean he doesn't like your beard?
My beard? What's wrong?
Oh, it's not friends with his beard, meaning it's probably... meaning it's like burst.
You know, I was going to say...
I was like, yes! Do you know, this has actually been cut because it was getting out of hand.
I know. The beard's really grown on me, as they say. No, not funny.
Like, how old are you? Oh, cheapers.
Right.
Cheapers creepers.
Let's move on to dram.
Let us know if you have any favourite pairing so far. Out of 1, 2, 3, what is your favourite?
Nice.
And have you chopped and changed any to see if anything else works?
Is there cream eggs in that icing?
Mm-hmm. It's not icing, it's cream.
Cream. Good.
As a habit of not listening to a word I say, when I do these tasters, he has to ask me about it 4 times what's in them.
It's because what happens is, I just feel I talk about whiskey for ages. When I'm eating, I'm already thinking about the next whiskey.
Yeah.
So I just asked a question to fill time that you've probably already answered.
think we all know your tricks.
Mm.
I'm just chatting to
Is
myself.
is there chocolate eggs in that icing?
You're right, yeah. Good though.
Oh, we had the blue roll and we don't. That's all right.
How's the pairing?
Very good. Yeah, like the yogurt.
You're like a 4-year-old.
Was it sticky? I normally don't eat the donuts for this reason. I eat like half of them and think about talking, but I'm actually quite hungry. I'm actually quite hungry.
Blimey.
Right.
This is good though. What's your favourite pairing so far?
I actually think number one. But I finished that dram, so I think that's my favourite dram. 3 favourite dram, 1 and 1 favourite pairing, I think.
Very good.
Right, I've had a sip of my beer actually. I've relaxed now. I've had a few drams. There's no rush now. I feel all right.
Relaxed.
Right. Number 4.
Oh yeah. So now we're getting into the territory that I quite like.
So we are now no longer. Oh no, it is on the right page. I wrote some notes and I thought I did it wrong. Less spring and more kind of punchy whiskey. So Talisker. So I think regular viewers will know it is a popular distillery here in the Malt Room. I think all staff and you all love Talisker.
All staff and me. Can I still not be staff when I'm do one shift a year?
I don't think you've done one this year.
Well, I couldn't. So
you just do.
Is this not classed as like technically mixed work?
Well, you just want an invite to the Christmas night out. That's the only thing, isn't it?
Perks of the job, you know.
Perks of the job. Mm-hmm.
You get your toasty.
I do get my toasty.
So
yeah, very true. I won't argue with that. So
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, Talisker. Most whiskey fans, you guys out there all know Talisker pretty well. The 10-year-old is the sort of standard. They do 18, 25, 30, and some special releases. Based on Skye, used to be the only distillery on there. Torvig have changed that, so there is a new distillery on Skye that opened in 2017. They just released their inaugural this year. I'm yet to try it. I do have a bottle here in the bar waiting to be opened. I think it is very island-like. I think it is quite coastal. And yeah.
Is this a Game of Thrones? Yeah.
Yeah, Game of Thrones release. Yeah. So I think we actually did the Game of Thrones Klein lease last time. And I was quite pleased with it. I thought it was good. And a lot of people bought these collections thinking they were going to make lots of money.
Thinking they were going to be collectible.
Collectible. Unfortunately, there was loads and loads of bottles of them. But to be honest, any Talisker, I'm always up for giving it a go.
I'm the same.
Young Talisker is good. Old Talisker is good. As far as I'm concerned, all Talisker is good. It is bottled at Talisker filling strength, which is 45.8%. Non-age statement, so we don't know how old it is. But yeah, lovely colour. Again, not sure if it's natural colour, but in terms of flavour, I smelt it earlier and tried a bit, and I was actually
impressed.
You know it's Talisker.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not, because I was a bit worried again, Game of Thrones. I thought, oh God, not sure. Should we use this? Should we not? And tried it, and yeah, I like it.
So there's something, we were working years ago here, and somebody had said to us in passing that, so typically peaty whiskey or smoky whiskey is my sort of flavour of choice, profile of choice.
Yep.
And you'd get folk coming into the bar way back when I was here before Perk, sort of being like, oh, well, do you like whiskey or do you just work here? And I thought, you can't really just work here and avoid the whiskey. Like
the bar is
literally
like
a whiskey bar.
2.5 meters long. You have 300 whiskies behind you.
Yeah. You've got to know something about whiskey.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you'd explain to people that my personal sort of preference was peaty and smoke whiskey, and typically after a bit of like research at the bar, women tend to like this a lot, and it's one that you find that the entry level ones, the one that get you into it, but then actually as they start tasting different ones, the smoky one is kind of typically what women go for.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yep, totally. Just reading some of the comments there when you were chatting away. So
4 gives off whiffs of paint thinner and swamp. Yep. Yeah,
That's
pretty good. TCP in a glass, yeah, from Thelma. Nathan, number 3 feels a lot harsher for me. Yeah, that's probably the non-chill filtration and higher strength. Bourbon cask can be quite fiery too. Angus Talisker is not a dram I enjoy. Your glass looks a lot fuller than mine. Well, do you know what? We actually used the same to try and keep on track. Sometimes I get a bit heavy-handed with the pours. Tobias, I think this is better than the Game of Thrones whiskey from last month. This was the Kleinleash.
Yeah,
well, the donut I've gone with this one.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry,
Jeez, sorry, I'm just getting Talisker problems. Yeah.
Is a salted caramel
Great.
cream. So yeah, pretty plain on the outside, but it should be filled with a salted caramel cream, and obviously the saltiness works really well with Talisker. Well, hopefully that should be good. Oh.
That's good.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
So Talisker is that essentially comes from the islands. So there's different regions in Scotland. So there's the Highlands, which is where we're based. Speyside, which is probably the most densely populated, or the majority distilleries, the big hitters anyway, Macallan, Glenlivet, Glenfiddich, they are in Speyside. You then have the Lowlands, you have Islay, which is super smoky, Campbellton, which is kind of a strange area at the moment, and then you have the islands. So island style tend to be a little bit smoky, a little bit salty, a little bit briny, coastal. So think if you're at the sea, you know, it's I like Talisker.
Yeah, me too. And I think for folk who sort of think of it as that TCP thing, as soon as you start going into Talisker territory, if you add a little bit of water, like water is definitely your friend with whiskey. So added a little bit of water, give it a swirl around, and it changes the flavour massively of it. And it takes that little bit of an edge off as well if you're kind of struggling with that instant kick from sort of smoky whiskies. Yeah.
So what's in your salted caramel? Cream? Grenache? What's this? Cream, filling. Talk me through it.
Well, this one's quite self-explanatory. We make caramel.
Now you say that, but I don't know how to make caramel.
You know the first thing about making caramel?
Condensed milk in boiling water.
It's one way to do it, but that's not the way we do it. We do it traditionally. Right. You boil the sugar.
Right.
And you add the cream.
Right.
And a little bit of butter. And salt.
Right. And that's what's your uncle.
Sticky work.
Right.
And it's dangerous. I've been burned many times. You had a bit of a problem last night, and you did blow up 2 of my extension cables. So I can believe that. Well, let's all be very honest here, because the only reason we used your 2 extension cables is because you were adamant that would work, and I told you it wouldn't.
It was a solution to a problem.
But it didn't solve it, because I told you that wasn't going to work.
Do the people have donuts? Thanks to my extension cables.
It wasn't
not your hard work.
No, it wasn't thanks to your extension cables. That lasted 5 minutes, and when you left, I had to change the system. So it was nothing to do with your extension cables, I'll have you know.
Did the electrician arrive?
No. I went and picked him up.
When I went and changed the systems, I was like, you didn't change the systems.
No, it wasn't me. Thank you very much, Gary, for saving my life last night. Or else we'd be struggling to have donuts today. But
the fryers need a lot of power, and I think it blitzed it, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, we had a bit of an electrical nightmare last night, but we got there, and all the donuts went out today, and everything's been fine. So
we always get there.
Always get there. Whether it's an 8-hour shift or a 28-hour shift, you just keep going until it's done.
Totally. So cool. I think mixed opinions, which is kind of best pairing for me. Great. A bit punchy. Donut goes down well with it. Donny, good man. Donut 4 and Whiskey 3 seem mighty wonderful over here. Nice. Water doesn't help it. Yeah, that's it. Talisker and
it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. So even more not for everyone. We are going to move into the region I just mentioned there, Islay, which
is on my hit list. If we can start traveling this year, I want to go up and visit.
Yeah, sure. Islay's an amazing place. I've been lucky enough to go over there. It's a small little island, for those who don't know, off the west coast of Scotland. And it's very famous for peated whiskey. So when we talk about peated whiskey, what we mean is that in the process of making whiskey, you need to dry barley. And however what kind of heat source you use effectively to fuel the heat will make a difference. So if you imagine this table was full of barley, and underneath you had sort of flavourless coal or whatever it was just to dry the barley, that's fine. It's not going to add much to the flavour. But peat is basically condensed earth over about 3,000 years. So there's lots going on there, and there's a lot of phenols in there. So when you burn that peat, in the smoke, there's a lot of phenols. So they attach themselves to the barley, and that carries through the process. And that's how you get smoke in your whiskey. Another way to think about it in sort of layman's terms is if you are at a barbecue or a bonfire, you've been standing next to it, you wake up in the morning, you smell your jacket, it stinks. The reason it stinks is because that is kind of soaked up the sort of smoke. So the barley is doing the same thing. So we are going to have dram number 5, which is something we've not had, I don't think, on Whisky and Doughnuts. So we are having Kulila.
Oh, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, Kulila is great. I love Kulila. I think it's a fantastic Islay dram. And, there are some big hitters on Islay. So whiskey fans go mad for Ardbeg, they go mad for Lagavulin. And Kulila is the workhorse of Islay. It was once described by a whiskey writer as Mr. Consistent.
Oh.
And the reason for that is from young Kulila to old Kulila, it carries the same kind of characteristics. It is just always consistent. A lot of whiskies have sweet spots at distilleries. You say, young Balvenie is not great, but aged Balvenie sherry, happy days. Whereas Kulila across the board is really, really good. So good, in fact, it was super, super popular with blenders. So Kulila is owned by Diageo, and used to be DCL, which is Distillers Company Limited. They've kind of been producing kind of consistently. I think when single malt wasn't massively popular, they changed and created an unpeated Highland malt, which kept them going. But they've upped their production now. I think they're about 6.5 million litres. So biggest producer on Islay.
Wow, I didn't know they were
biggest producer in Islay. And
over Lagavulin.
Yep, biggest producer by a long way.
Wow.
And so much so that it was only in 2002 that they brought out a core range. So before that, every single drop of liquid went into Diageo's blends, primarily Johnnie Walker. And the only Kulila you would see on the market, if you were a fan of Kulila, would be independent bottles of Kulila. There is a lot of indie bottles. Yeah, it is. It's got the citrus notes, but also has the coastal notes on steroids. It's light.
I was going to say it is light. There's just something to that is just, I could bathe in that.
Yeah,
absolutely awesome.
An interesting thing, which I actually was, I'll read this off.
Before you start, I'm going to say the donut.
Go.
So the pairing, because you guys might be munching already while we're chatting.
Getting too excited about Kulila.
We've it's slightly obviously Easter themed, but we have a chocolate mousse and a little chunk of cream egg in the top. So it should be quite a nice chocolatey mousse on the inside. So it'll be runny. Be careful, it'll blow up in your mouth. Right, go on. Tell us a story then.
I can't quite remember now.
He's having a read. Not been a lover of peat.
So
that is lovely. Oh, good.
So this was interesting.
I think this is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, you actually mentioned it, Lagavulin. So Lagavulin is also owned by Diageo. So they actually receive the same spec of malt. And I actually think it maybe comes from Glenord or Baird's. I should have looked into that and I didn't. I'm sure.
I think it's Glenord.
It could be one of the two. Duncan Ireland, I'm sure, who's watching, whose birthday it is, maybe say
happy birthday.
We'd like to say happy birthday because he loves peat. So
he loves peat.
Happy birthday to Duncan. He will know the answer to that one. So here we go. So receive the same spec of malt as sister distillery Lagavulin. Kulila's distillation regime, longer fermentation and higher cut points, taller stills, helps to reduce the heavy phenols. Maturation is always in refill casks. So lots of information there. I thought you actually dropped that. I just... But Lagavulin 16 is... I don't even know why I'm trying to explain Lagavulin 16. Dram 5, who cares? Let's try the donut.
You just awkwardly looked right at me when I bit it, and I was like,
I just
oh,
heard a noise of, and I was like, you spilt that.
it's moussey.
I love cream egg.
Yeah.
Love cream eggs.
I've got a fact about cream eggs that you just don't want to know.
I know it.
Is it about how many sugars are in a cream egg?
Nope.
Okay, well, what's your fact about cream eggs?
Well, a couple of years ago, I believe that there was an issue with cream eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be Cadbury's cream eggs. And they used to use Cadbury's dairy milk in cream eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just use Cadbury's. So lower grade chocolate in nowadays cream eggs. So I've got a whiskey collection. I've also got a classic Iron Brew collection and a classic cream egg collection.
What are you going to do with the chocolate cream egg?
Sell them for millions.
An old bit of chocolate.
But it's an original cream egg. I don't actually have a collection of cream eggs around.
I was really unhappy with that. I was like,
why would I have a
I was like,
cream
that's
egg?
disgusting. Well, how long are you going to keep that? I was so offended.
Oh, dear.
God. Has Duncan replied yet? No.
Let's see, drama night, lovely. Love the Coolila.
Oh, me too.
Not here beat you once, but it's better than most. And flavorless pat of water. Nice. I think Matt has had a few pre-drinks. I don't know what it is, Mark. I actually haven't for once. I normally have like a brew dog as well, like one Peroni. I think it's the light. I don't know. I think driving in the snow and sun.
Light.
I don't know. I just felt a bit on edge tonight for some reason.
Okay, well, do you know what? I'll say I like that pairing a lot. I
Yeah,
think it's really good.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Just bringing it back.
Fine with me. Yeah.
But do you want to hear my fact about cream eggs? It's quite terrifying.
Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Okay, and don't let this freak you out from cream eggs or from our donuts because I only gave you a quarter of a quarter. But guess how many teaspoons of sugar are in a cream egg? A cream egg's this big, right?
5.
30.
What?
Yeah. There's the equivalent of 30 spoons of sugar in a cream egg.
Because it's reduced down. It's like a syrup, is it?
So on the inside is literally, that's all sugar. The inside
Yeah.
is complete sugar. And then with the chocolate.
Wow. And
Yeah.
what's like a can of Coke? Must be like, I don't know what's in a can of Coke.
Oh,
but it's a lot. It's a lot.
No idea.
30. I
How
had 2
cr-
yesterday.
You
I did. My mum, I did. Mum came round to Easter last weekend and had an egg box full of eggs.
Oh my
And
god.
I had 2.
Well, that was 60 spoons of sugar
Wow.
you had that day.
I need to get my sports bra soon, I think.
You have to go to the dentist. Oh, my teeth left.
Totally.
Oh god. I know it's a bit of a scary fact. What was that? What?
He goes, I wouldn't have been surprised at the collection, Matt MacPherson. Have you got a super tea collection too?
Oh.
My love of tenants is very true. I feel a bit different this lockdown. The first lockdown we had a tenants tap in our kitchen. It was nice in the summer, but I thought it was a slippery slope this time around. 5 absolutely belting pairings. But where are you going to take on taste Orkney whiskey? Well, do you know, Ali, that is a good question. So I guess that, looking at the time, that's actually kind of coming near the end-ish. So I don't know if we did talk about this. We talked about this. So the next tasting, I remember last time we asked you guys what tasting do you want. What are you laughing at? You're actually putting me off tonight, I think. It's actually you, not me. My tummy made a bit of a weird grumble noise there. So we asked you guys for suggestions, and there was one about Delau. I can't. I'm done. But next month, because we were trying to do one about once a month, which works for everyone.
Diwali,
So,
that's what you want to say.
Diwali, thank you. But
That's
that's not
November.
till November, yeah. So,
How did we laugh and fit this?
so the next one is going to be, and you guys, we're not going to post this on social media for a wee while yet. So, as always, you guys who are watching it and have bought tickets will have first dibs. I think this one will go pretty well. So the next one we are going to do on May the 4th, Star Wars.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. Star Wars, Whiskey and Donuts. Have you watched Star Wars?
I think I've seen like the first 2 or something.
So I haven't. I've seen like 1.5 as well. So
We're gonna have to brush up.
between now and then, during lockdown, my flatmate John, he loves Star Wars. Loves it. Like honestly, he knows every single one. And there is the episode where I don't know which one it's called, but Darth Vader goes in and says, "Look, I am your father," and it's this big boardroom meeting. And every time, we've watched it 3 times now, and I've fallen asleep just before it every single time because he's insistent. He shuts the curtains. No, you need to cinema experience something, and it's just so dark and warm, and I just fall asleep. So yeah, hopefully there's some Star Wars fans out there. The whiskey, I've got a few ideas about kind of Star Wars,
and I've got a few ideas for your next gift as well.
I don't know what that's going to be, but I'd love to make a joke, but I don't know anything about Star Wars apart from Stormtroopers and Yoda.
You're gonna have to watch the Star Wars. To be fair, I've got a few to watch as well. Watch the Star Wars.
You're gonna have to watch the Star Wars. Clearly a big fan.
Okay. Let's go back to my Sylvan blog.
Well, I feel that was a bit of a higgledy-piggledy one tonight, but quite fun all the same.
A bit of a stress relief, isn't it? After a busy.
It's just nice on a Friday to. We actually love doing this.
It's like the highlight of the week, really, coming into, you do all the legwork behind the scenes, and then you get to sit down and actually enjoy it and interact with everyone. It's really lovely.
It's nice.
Great.
So, we do have some homework.
Yeah.
Matt, Star Wars fail. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to up my game before May the 4th.
Yeah, because we'll be getting lots of May the 4th questions.
Do you know why it's called May the 4th? Or why it's on May the 4th?
Because it rhymes with May the Force.
Correct. Just checking. Because I'm a big Star Wars fan.
I mean, that's probably the most obvious.
I was just hoping you didn't.
Only an obvious thing. Thank God I did. I wasn't 100% confident.
You said it
very
quietly.
I was like,
very quietly.
I was on about 80% confidence.
Cool. So, I think that's probably us for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's lovely seeing some. Mum, Matt, you will be Yoda.
Yes, June. I'm gonna make him a hat.
I don't. Yoda is the cool though. I did like Yoda. He was cool.
He is cool. I love the way he talks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try it.
Go on.
No, I honestly don't know enough. I don't know enough. So tickets will be up on the website for you guys to get first dibs on. I think. If
you have any questions or anything, please drop us an email or keep messaging, and we will get back to you guys.
Or other ideas for nights. So
we want to do like one a month, ideally. So if you have dates that are kind of in mind, obviously we know the big ones. Father's Day
in June, so that'll be the sort of one following that. But
to do a nice summer one and stuff, if there's anything that's ringing a bell that you haven't thought of, please let us know. Was this Nicole?
Nicole is Princess Leia. There you go.
So we could actually dress up for this one.
Yeah.
Please, can we?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Even if he says no, I'll bring an outfit for him. And he has to put it on because he's on camera.
Nice. Okay, guys. That's
amazing.
Pretty much 8 o'clock. So,
thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Thanks for mustering through with us as well.
I know. That must have been a hard watch.
Sorry.
How about Midsummer for June? Yeah, good idea. I think June is Father's Day, so I think we need to do Father's Day.
Is June Father's Day?
I think I looked up. I think it's June 20th. I think is Father's Day, and I think one a month. I think is the perfect amount. Like we all look forward to it, and it's not it's not overdone or anything. So Well, enjoy your Friday night. I think we're gonna finish off these. No, I don't know if we need them or not tonight, but. Cheers, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks again.
Good night.
July 4th.
July 4th. Definitely not.
Brilliant.
Cheers.